Alright, so Uncle Darryl, what is up? How is life?
Life is good, man. I can't complain.
Life is good, you can't complain. You know what, I would have to agree. Life is amazing, it is what it should be. I think that's what Drake says. So, today the spotlight is on you. And we're basically going to ask you a few questions. So, you know what? Let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. Okay. So, this is my first question. Now, of course, I know the answer because I've known you since birth.
Right.
But I'm going to ask this question for the viewers because a lot of times, Uncle Darryl, I know that people tend to mistake you for like being somewhere up north, like like the Bronx, DC, like just somewhere up north. So like, where are you from? Because you do sort of have like that accent, like you sound like you're from up north.
Nah, right here, born and raised here in the city of St. Petersburg. Just like I say, have grandparents and an aunt that wanted to make sure you spoke a certain way, and and I tried to practice that, along with a little hip hop dialect. That's about it.
Okay.
That's about it.
All right, so Uncle Darryl, my next question. Okay. Now, this question, it has nothing to do with where you're from. It has nothing to do with hip hop.
Okay.
Honestly, Uncle Darryl, I'm just trying to get some tea. I'm trying to get some tea. But like the thing is, Uncle Darryl, I'm not even trying to get it for me. Like it's for the viewers. I'm being nosy for the viewers. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so like, just hear me out. With all 1,000 women you have dealt with all 1,000 women you have had, cry over you, chase after you, and all of that stuff. Like, if I was to ask them, like, is my uncle a player or a lover boy? Like, what do you think they would say?
Neither.
Neither, Uncle Darryl? Uncle Darryl, you answered that question a little too fast. I need you to take your time. Like,
really?
I want you to be honest. Like, would they say you're a player or a lover boy?
If you can give a survey to them, they were like, he's a little distance at times, he's a little difficulty, but not a player, not none of that.
Uncle Darryl, but you know what? I'm just gonna be honest because to me, you honestly really do give player vibes. I feel like a lot of women are attracted to you, so it is what it is. But like, you do give me player vibes. But
people's person.
Okay, I can definitely see that. You definitely give that vibe. You are a people's person. You're very charismatic.
Right.
Things of that nature. So this leads me to my next question. Romance type relationship. How well do you think you do with them?
Not good.
Really?
Yeah. Like I say, I'm aloof a little bit, and that bothers certain people, and I get it and I understand it, and I'm working on me. I'm working on it.
Okay. All right, so I love Aquarius people. They are some of my favorite people. But I just feel like they are so freaking analytical. So like
Yes.
Uncle Darryl, would you consider yourself to be like an analytical person? And if you are, like, do you feel like that contributes to maybe some of the issues you have in relationships?
Absolutely.
Really?
I think me always analyzing everything.
Okay.
Even someone could say something a week ago and I'm still analyzing it in my mind.
Really?
So yeah.
You definitely don't give off that vibe. Like you just like Uncle Darryl. Like to me, you just seem like very like just like you're not even like stressing it that much. You ain't even like thinking twice about it.
And it depends on who it's coming from too.
Okay. Now that makes sense. I can agree.
Yeah.
I can agree.
It depends on who it's coming from. You know.
Okay, so speaking of being so analytical, I do want to go ahead and analyze your journey with music.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, how did your journey with music start? And like, let's take it way, way, way back. Like as far as you can remember.
Yeah, like any other kid, you know, parents, mom, uncles are playing music around the house, and you know they're playing different albums or whatever, and you're listening. My sister, your mother, and I, and they're making us get up and dance, and your sister doing the robot and all of this good stuff. So just and then of course hip hop came along, and
right.
I gravitated towards it.
So like, how old were you when you first, like when you like performed your first song? And like that can be like anywhere, like it can be church, school, like just like how how old were you when you did like your first performance?
That'd be about 13.
13,
14,
so that's
yeah.
what, like middle school maybe?
Yeah,
Middle school, high school?
we were having a battle with my man 20D.
20D.
And he stole my beatbox. And a little dude by the name of Damian Sherman came in and helped me out a little bit. And we packed the boys' bathroom with girls and boys trying to get a hold of that battle. It was like a Nas and a Jay-Z moment for us. I was
Really?
concerned. Yeah.
Okay, so Uncle Darryl, like, would you say that would you say that your personality is reflected in like your music and your lyrics? Because, and I guess I asked that question because like a lot of times people believe whatever it is, the artist may be rapping. So like, would you say that your personality and what you talk about is like reflected? Like, is that reflected in your lyrics? Like, is that what you're about?
I think so. I think I'm philosophical, so I try to write.
Yes, I do agree.
With the verge of trying to have something to say rather than just rhyming. I mean, yeah, we can dance and have a good time and gyrate the beats, but trying to have something, for the third eye or the mind or whatever, subconsciousness that we
Right.
can chew on is definitely a goal in mind whenever I'm writing.
And I would agree too, because I mean, since I do know you personally, I do feel like what you say in your music, like that to some extent that does like, that's a reflection of your personality and who you really are and what you're trying to, embed in other people.
Amen.
I mean, the way I see it, I feel like self-expression through music is like what a lot of artists do.
Mm-hmm.
But then you do have some artists who's like simply, like they're literally just jumping straight into character because they literally mean nothing they rap about. Like they are not about anything they rap about.
CB4.
Right.
It was a movie called CB4, guy that took an alias name, became a super thug when he didn't grow up like that. And I think a lot of hip hop has that element in it.
Right.
I think record labels push a certain narrative, and
right.
It earns for the artist and them short term, and and it sells for the moment. But I think at the end of the day, having art and a part of an element that is true to the art
right.
will have longevity.
Exactly. So okay, moving on. What is the funniest rap lyric you've ever heard? And I know that was kind of random, but
Will Smith. Parents just don't understand.
Will Smith. You're right. I forgot. I forgot Will Smith was even a rapper.
Well, let me change that. Not Will Smith. The Fresh Prince.
The Fresh Prince. Okay, there you go. When you said the Fresh Prince, that does make me think like, okay.
Yeah, the Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff.
Okay, so you would say Will Smith's parents just don't understand. All right, so then what is the deepest rap lyric you ever heard?
It's a bunch of them. Rakim. I remember when your father and I was younger. Your father was one of my DJs. And Rakim says the verse, I take 7 MCs, put them in a line. Take 7 more brothers that think they can rhyme, but it'll take 7 more before I go for mine. Now that's 21 MCs that up at the same time.
Okay.
And it was like, how does anybody follow that?
That's
Yeah.
that's I don't even think I have caught on to that yet.
Yeah.
That's so yeah, that's definitely really deep. So
Yeah.
I guess speaking of like, you know, like just deep lyrics, Uncle Darryl, like would you consider yourself to be an artist who is deep, or like would you consider yourself to be more like a, you know, like I got the sauce, I got the swag, or like would you consider yourself to be maybe a kind of corny, cheesy, comical type of rapper? Like what is your style? You feel like?
I would say a guy that's philosophical.
Yes.
I don't know how deep I am, but there's a guy who tries to give you food for thought when I'm speaking, when I'm using this mic. You know, it's a certain amount of power that goes with it, you know, so I want to be able to equip my brothers and sisters on how to think and how to prepare for what's coming around the corner.
Right. I don't know, Uncle Darryl, like just like listening to you, I'm gonna be honest, and like this is just my personal opinion, but I like if I had to give you any color, I think I would give you the color blue.
What's your favorite color?
And that's crazy,
Favorite
Uncle
color.
Darryl. Now please tell the viewers I did not call you and ask you that. And you happen to be wearing different shades of blue today.
Right.
No,
nah.
I promise y'all, this was not planned. I did not ask him that. For as much as I love my uncle, I did not know his favorite color was blue.
Blue,
But-
multifaceted.
Yes, I just like I feel like see I would give you the color blue because like for one, when you think of like nature and things like that,
Mhm.
like the first color that comes to mind is going to be like greenery
Right.
because there's so much greenery in nature. But like blue is like hard to spot in nature, but it's there, and like when you do spot it, it's something very impactful.
It's life to me.
Right, like you know, like
liberating.
the blue sky,
Yeah,
the blue
yeah.
ocean, like
Sea
blue
green,
is a
blue.
part of nature, and it's very impactful too.
I think so. Blue is a color that
Blue's calm too.
it calms the air.
Yes.
Whenever I'm feeling blue, I go sit out in the blue sky, and it's like medicine to my soul.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't know, and it's crazy that happens to be your favorite color.
Hey,
I promise
absolutely.
y'all, I did not.
It's
ask
good.
that.
It's good.
Okay, so Uncle Darryl, I do want to touch on your latest single,
Okay.
the song that you will be dropping soon.
Right.
What is the name of that?
A journalist who speaks about the city of St. Pete.
Okay. And was that like was that like a, because you know sometimes artists they'll like just randomly title their songs. It has really not much to do with the
Song itself.
right. I've done that before. But
yeah, we all.
but like is that title, is that random, or is that or does that have a lot to do with the song?
No, it has a lot to do. Talking about the city,
Mm-hmm.
talking about what's going on with the city. You know, I wrote a song called Bay Life, you know, on the first album, No In Between.
Oh yes, that song was very like sunny and
Yeah,
stuff
so
like that. I do remember that.
yeah, so this one is a little different. It's talk about the on the other side of the tracks of the Bay Life,
Okay.
where you know the cameras are not always going, and you know the tourists are not always coming to.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, it's not saying that I'm per se living that life, but just telling you about from a
Right.
journalist point of view what I'm seeing.
Mhm.
You know, so I'm you know when you
You're
hear
just
the
a
song,
journalist who
the
speaks.
journalist who speaks
Okay,
about the city
got
of
it.
St. Pete. Yeah.
So Uncle Darryl, like what would you say like inspired this song? Like would you say like Bay Life kind of inspired this?
Very
maybe?
much so.
Really?
It was just, you know, being able to say, okay, you know, you're talking about jet skis and palm trees.
Right.
Well, then, you know,
I remember that song.
there's a different side to there's always the opposite side of the coin.
Mm-hmm.
And also, KRS-One and Shan, back in the day, they wrote songs about where they from, the Bridge and South Bronx. So
Right.
I figured, you know, this will be mine.
So it's almost like, and I hope I'm saying this right, but it's almost like Bay Life and then a journalist who speaks. Like it's almost like it's like good twin and then dark twin. But like
Yeah.
I don't want to say dark because like
Dysfunctional twin.
dysfunctional twin. There you
Yeah,
go, because
yeah.
like a journalist who speaks. I have heard some of it. I haven't heard the whole thing, but I have heard some of it.
Mhm.
And it's not a dark song, but it's very transparent. And you're definitely, you know, talking about like what's going on in the city of St. Pete.
It's thought driven. It's
Yes.
but there are ways we can talk about problems, how, you know, what we can do without having to be doom and gloom all the time.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It's not like a gloomy song either.
Yeah,
so I don't really want to say like it's the dark twin. Of
It's the function. Dysfunctional.
Dysfunctional. Yeah, I like that.
It needs some help.
It needs some help.
it needs to be walked with a little bit. Yeah.
Uncle Darryl, so name 3 other artists who you could see appreciating this new song that you do have on the way.
I think Tia Pumpkin.
Tia Pumpkin. Yes.
Yeah. Mike Air.
Of course.
My man Blah. Bruce Blizzard. God loves the Almighty.
Okay.
My man Deron, JTL. That's a host of them.
A host of them.
Tamik. I said JTL, Slim Chance.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, them my guys. You know, working on a new album with my man JTL that'll be coming in a minute. So yeah, those are guys I think that would appreciate it. Hopefully the viewers, when you get a chance to hear it,
right.
you'll appreciate it.
I can't wait for you guys to hear it too.
Yeah, I'm older now, so I'm trying to really stay in my lane. I ain't trying to sell records. I just love the art of hip hop.
Right. Uncle Darryl, so this question is probably going to be like a little random, but okay. I do see that you are rocking your actual clothing brand. You can show the viewers your clothing line. Faith Shield Clothing. Shout out to Faith Shield Clothing.
Yeah, absolutely. That Fluffwear.
Are you shouting that out in your music?
No, not right now.
Okay.
But you know, in a minute we'll definitely come with Faith Shield Clothing and Fluffwear and Destiny Faith line. Hopefully where we get a chance where the streets meets Brooks Brothers or something like that, so we can have a company downtown. You know, have a brick and mortar building where, you know, we're creating generational wealth for this family.
So since we're on the topic of fashion, I do, before we wrap this interview up, I do want to ask you, Uncle Darryl, and I don't even know if I'm asking you the right question because I do not feel like there's someone who I could compare you to. But who, if I'm just going to ask it and you answer how you answer. Who would you say inspires your fashion taste? See, it's like I don't even know if you are inspired by a certain just someone though. You guys see him in his like day life clothing right now, but I'm saying when he really step into it, he really does step into it.
Sometimes you're giving me too much.
He does.
But
so like,
just, you know, magazines.
Magazines, okay.
Old school hip hop. You know, like taking bits and pieces of the things we were rocking in our time and bringing it up to date.
Right.
A little bit of the suburb culture, you know, with the guys with the Sperry's on and you know, topsiders and you know, they got their, you know, just however, and then, you know, you're flipping it to an urban look at the same time. So it's a little bit of everything. And
it sounds to me like you definitely cannot be boxed in.
No.
And that's why I'm like, I don't really know how to ask him this question because I don't even think he would be able to give me like one person who inspires his style.
Your sister helped. I mean, my sister, your mother helped a lot.
Really?
Yeah. She made me step my game up as a young man when I was getting dirty still, and you know, we were playing tackle football in the grass. And she,
right.
It's time to start dressing the part of your age. I was still shorts and had dirty sneakers and a t-shirt to get dirty to tackle people. Yeah, true story.
Uncle Darryl, well, I am so happy that you decided to give me some of your time because like I've been telling my viewers, it's just, I wanted them to get a chance to, you know, see why I'm such a big fan of you. And also too, like, it's just so much more to my uncle than just Aquarius uncle. It's so much more to him. And you guys will definitely be seeing much more to him because Uncle Darryl, you have a music video coming out soon. Yes, he has.
You're directing it.
Yes.
You're writing it. Everything is gonna be you. So
Tia Pumpkin is behind.
Tia Pumpkin is behind it. So whatever you see, it will be her. I'm stepping out of the way. You do your thing. I already did my thing lyrically. Your brother did his thing musically.
Right.
And you know, we just hope that God will bless it and it will go forward and people will be blessed by it.
You guys, I cannot wait for you guys to see it. And you already know on my channel, if I'm putting out information, there's definitely going to be some action.
It's popping. We had to play.
Yes.
So King
if it's out there, it's no turning back. So yes. Uncle Darryl, now before you leave us,
okay,
I noticed, like, you know, like when they leave comments and stuff under your shorts, they tend to say you leave gems.
Okay.
So do you mind leaving us with something before you head out? Something positive, anything. And you don't have to give us a long speech unless you want to.
No, just take each day as a blessing, man. Nothing is owed to you. Anything that is given to you, consider it a blessing or a gift. People don't have to be nice to you, but when they are, be, what's the word we use when I spoke at church? Be grateful and not thankful. That would be my thing. Be grateful more than thankful.
And there you have it. And like I always say on my channel, toodaloo kaboot. I'll see y'all next time.
Peace, shalom. Yo, you good out there, Mike here? That's what's up with it. We're going to speak on the city. Not saying that everything in the city's bad, but just a portion of it, man. So we're going to go in right now. As a youth, we did some of the stupidest things.